What's up, everybody? In this series, I'm going to walk you through everything you need to know to build your first of many websites using HTML, the language of the web. Later in the series, we'll add style with CSS and eventually bring in JavaScript to make your site interactive. But for now, let's start with the foundation, HTML. It's the standard language used to create web pages on the web. Think of HTML like the bones of a website. It tells the browser what goes where and what each part of the content actually is. To get started, you're going to need two things. You're going to need a web browser, which lets us view our websites online, and we're also going to need a code editor, which lets us write code. The web browser that I prefer to use, the best browser is Google Chrome, from my experience, and then also the most popular code editor there is Visual Studio Code. This is the code editor that we'll be using. Here in Visual Studio Code, if you just go online, you can type in Visual Studio Code, and from here you can download your version of the program. If you are using Windows, it'll have the Windows button. If you are using a Mac, it'll have the Mac button. And you just go through the process to download the program. And once you download the program, this is how it's gonna look once it's downloaded. As you can see, we have some buttons here, and over here at the top, we have a menu, and over here on the side, we have some things like Explore, Search, Source Code, and all these things. And I'm gonna kind of walk you through the layout of Visual Studio Code. But before we do, we want to set up a workspace so that all of our websites, when we save them, will be saved in a specific location, so that way you can find them easily when you are working in your web design projects. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a way in which we can do it here in Visual Studio Code. So I'm going to click on File, and I'm going to choose Open Folder. And from here, I'm just going to put a folder on the desktop, and I am going to call it Web Development. We'll just say Web Dev. Okay? So all of our projects will go inside of Web Dev. Okay? But we also want to put a folder inside of Web Dev. This will be our first project. So we're going to click on New Folder. Now I'm using Windows. If you're using Mac, it's the same process. New Folder, and I'm going to say Project 1. Okay? And I'll just call them Project 1, Project 2, and so forth and so on. And so I'm going to click on Project 1, double click, and choose Select Folder. All right, now normally you'll see this pop up, this trust author situation here. If I just click trust and say yes, then now I'm ready to begin. Now before we begin, we're gonna look at some extensions that I want you to install, because this is gonna make your coding experience much easier. We have these four: VS Code icons, open in browser, live server, and then you have bracket pair colonize. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just type live and then server, and right here I'm gonna click install. Okay, so live server, that's live share, not live server. So let me go ahead and keep typing, and my live server is actually up here. It's already installed, so I don't see the install button. But what you'll do is you'll install live server, and I'm just going to click away again and give you an opportunity to see the others that I want you to install. So live server, VS Code icons, open in browser, and bracket pair colonize, or color. They changed it. Okay. All right. So once you've installed all of these, you're now ready to go to your settings. And to do that, if you are using a PC, you'll click on File. If you are using a Mac, I think you'll click on the Visual Studio Code logo, and I'm going to go to Preferences and choose Settings. All right, so now here are some settings that I want you to add to your Visual Studio Code. First, you have autosave, and we want to choose after delay. So that makes your code run and it saves automatically. Then you have font size. You can choose whatever font size that fits your need. I'm going to go to 24 font size. And then I'm going to come down, scroll down just a little bit and look for word wrap. And I want word wrap to be on. All right. So we have word wrap, we have font size, and we have autosave after delay. Once we have all those settings, I can close the settings tab here, and then I'm going to also close this welcome tab here. Now we're ready to get started.